Okay. Yeah, make sure to have full name, okay? How many of you already? Okay, ready? Anyone have problem to log in this anymore? Okay, anyone else? Anyone listen? Anyone has problem? When they press start, they cannot go back, okay? Any mission? Let me know, okay? Otherwise, when they press start, you cannot log in, okay? You have to be quick, okay? Ready? Everyone's here? Everyone's here? Are you ready? Okay. Anyone missing? Okay, ready? All right, press start now, okay? You can go back, okay? Ready? We have to be quick, okay? Oh, sorry. Let's see here. I supposed to show you to show you this one. Let me sorry. Let me turn it off first. Sorry, I messed up. Sorry. Okay. Let me okay, let me show you this one first, okay? Here, this is a video clip you guys supposed to watch before you
was held in high regard in his village in Japan. He was respected by all, and many came to him for spiritual guidance, until one day. The teenage daughter of Hakuin's next-door neighbor became pregnant. Who is the father? The girl's parents demanded angrily. When she wouldn't say, they only became more infuriated. Tell us. Finally, in tears, the girl revealed that it was Hakuin. Her parents rushed over to the man's house without a second thought and began to shout at him, losing all of their trust in the master. You're the father, they yelled. Hakuin simply remained calm. Is that so? Is that so? He replied softly. Of course, his reputation was ruined. No one came to him for teaching or guidance. No one respected him anymore. Despite this, Hakuin remained unmoved. When the child was born, the girl's parents brought the baby to Hakuin. Since you're the father, you'd better take care of him. Hakuin lovingly cared for the child for an entire year, still steady and calm, not seeming to mind that his reputation was in ruins. And then the truth finally came out. The teenage mother remorsefully confessed to her parents who the real father was, a young man in the butcher's shop. Distraught by her lie, her parents quickly went to Hakuin for forgiveness. This isn't your child, they whispered. We are so sorry, Hakuin. The master responds to falsehood and truth, bad news and good news in exactly the same way. Is that so? He allows the form of the moment, good or bad, to be as it is.
Okay, that is one. Okay, that's one that delay to this. And this is another one.
I sent news of the Buddha's departure from Rajagaha city. My relatives are waiting here to greet him.
The Lord Buddha And 20,000 bhikkhus have arrived, Your Highness.
Lord Buddha's relatives are clinging to the view that the Buddha is junior to them because he is younger in age. They position their young princes in front of themselves so that they won't have to pay their respects.
Okay, that's all. Right, go back here. All right, we go back to. Okay, yeah, somehow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so 7 of you got right. Okay. So that's related to the video clip that I can play. Okay.
Professor, it kicked me out of it's kicking students out of the game.
Yeah, same here.
You do? Oh, okay. Let me turn it up, okay? And you guys can lock in back, okay? Let me turn this up. All right, so let's go back here again. You can lock in back again. Different pin number. Okay, everyone is in. Everyone is in. Anyone missing? Are you ready? Okay, ready? That's the first video clips. You guys know the answer now for the first one. Yeah, okay. Oh, even one of you miss. Wow. Okay. All right, next one. The AP said that lay Buddhist take during the Upanishads do not include what? Only 6 of you. Yeah. Yeah. Keep valuable items. Okay. Next one. Okay. Derek, next one. It's pretty hard. You have to recognize quickly. That's a mummy with this master. Well, only 7. Okay. Oh, Tessa. The second video clip they just watched. Okay. Only 4 of you got right. Yeah. Yeah, through cultivation, everyone can have those type of supernatural power if you practice. All right, Tessa, keep up on the top. It's pretty easy question.
Okay, hello. And who are you? I'm Les Kynes, wife Nina. These are pigs and hogs, and our we live in Alaska City, Florida. What?
Wow. Yeah. Wow, only 4 of you have love for life. Okay. Next one. Victoria, go ahead. Next one. Perfection of generosity means not to own. This is the question. Wow, yeah, this is the question. 20 of you got. So this is top with Victoria. Next one. Okay, keep up Victoria. All right, next one. Only you know which one. The figure Manshui wisdom Bodhisattva. Not easy. This one is not easy question for you guys. Figure what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, only 4. Yeah, number 4. Only 2 of you got right. Not easy. All right. Derek, keep up, Derek. The plasticity cycle process is considered as principle of form with emptiness, and then it's formed in the what? Wisdom Sutra, Lotus Sutra, Mitra Sutra,
Some of the Dutch
Medicine Master, Buddha Sutra.
recycled bottles. Yes, some of the plastic bottles you drink out of and recycle are reborn as polyethylene yarn. The fiber is called a reprieve. It's made by a textile manufacturer in North.
Yeah, it's not easy question. Your Wisdom Sutra. All right, next one. Who is the top? Oh, Derek still in the top. Keep up, Derek. The Buddhist influence are the legendary Tristan Martis and Saint Josaphat and Malam. The leadership. Unless you know history well, otherwise no way for you to pick up the right question, right answer. Yeah, I know it's not easy. Only 3 of you. Okay, who top? Angel? Oh wow, that's great. The Buddhist king in this famous sense is not easy unless you read history. It's not easy. Yeah, only two of you got right. Yeah, Melinda, that's the Greek king. Okay, let's see who in the top. The third one, Derek. Oh, Derek. You have 3 points. Oh, Bryn. Oh, wow. In the top. Angel. Okay, that's nice. So, Angel got 15 extra point. Richard have 10 and Derek have 5. All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay, that's all. All right, let's go back to our question. All right, you guys pick up your question, right? Yeah, so let's see here. Let's see here. All right, Alan, number 10. Yeah, number 9. Number 9. Milan Kai, pick up the question, please.
Yeah, can I pick up question 7, Professor?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 6. All right, let me number 8. Number 11. No, we have Tony. We have plenty of number 11 already. All right, let me open the room. And if you see your name there, just go there, okay? Otherwise, we'll say you later on, okay? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go there with your friends then. If you don't have the room yet, I will say you later on. Okay. All right. Okay, near number 3. All right. Jesse and Huang, we have plenty of number 3 already. Can you change, please? Jahan, we have plenty of number 11 already. Okay, number 6, let's see. All right. Number 9. Oh, no, we have plenty of number 9. Misan, number 10. All right, Misan, go there. Okay, number 11. Okay. So we have number 13, 7, 5, 4. Yeah. 13, 5, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jesse, number 7. All right, 13. Yeah, okay. Number 13. Mr. Kai, which number? Tony, number 13, sorry. You go to number 13, huh? All right, go ahead.
Professor.
Yes.
I need to talk. I submitted my analysis essay in the wrong. The link wasn't like sending me to the wherever I was supposed to submit it, so I did put it in with the presentations. I'm guessing that's why it hasn't been.
No, just stay back. Just we will talk to you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Kai, which number you want to log in?
And could you put me in the breakout room for 4, please?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I sent you there already. You see the link there?
No, it's not showing.
If you don't, please log out Zoom and log in back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Kai, which number?
I pick up question 7.
7.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. You know how to put your number 7 by your name? Okay. Ian, which number you like to talk to? Andrew, you can put number 4 now. You know how to change? Yeah, change your name. Put number 4 by your name. Okay. Mr. Khai, you can go to number 7. All right. Ian, you can go to room. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, Ian. So you want to do meditation, right? You want to learn how to do meditation, right? Can you hear me? Ian? We can't hear you. Can hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Okay. Move the screen down so I can see your face. I can see. Oh yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
The camera is on the bottom. It's weird, but
Okay.
yes, Professor.
So which number you want to talk to them? We have number 5, number 14.
Okay, let's do 14.
Okay. So you want to do meditation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next Monday we'll be busy. Let's see here. Wednesday. Okay. All right. I give you. Let's see here. I will give you a choice, and you can see that. Okay. You can let me know the time. You know, you want to do number 14 or what?
Yes, we can do 14. I can do
Okay.
that.
All right. Let me send you there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead there. You go there. All right. So congratulations. Three of you, right? Three of you got the extra point, right? All right. Let's see here. Nia, keep a camera, please. Nia, Angel, please keep a camera on. All right, let's move on to our discussion today. Any question before we move on? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, make sure you keep a camera on. Let's start with question number 1. Let's see here. Who number 1? All right, Alexis, Sydney, and V. Number 1, please.
Okay, so our question is explaining the meaning of Osaka days and their functions. What I found was their general term for the days of observance on the linear calendar. They're ritual cleaning days that are observed by nuns, monks, and lay people. Some of them, they fast, they avoid entertainment and celibacy. And
I'm not clear. I could not hear you clearly. So what's special about that date, Alexis?
they're ritual cleansing days.
What's that?
They're ritual cleansing days.
Okay. All right. How about others? Sydney and V, you want to add more?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's just basically like a day to cleanse like not necessarily the bad things, but if you have done bad things and get rid of them from your mind. So you have like a calm and you spread more kindness and you have joy. I feel like I read about like the new and the full moon and how like on those days the nuns and the monks they confess their misdeeds and they speak with the monastic code of conduct. And they practice the defined Sangha. So yeah.
Okay. V?
Uposatha occurs 4 times a month in moon phases, just like new moon, full moon, and 2 quarter moon. And in this state, like Buddhist monks and nuns will chant the monastic rules and remind others about the precepts. And the purpose is to maintain and develop the life of the Sangha in a spirit of harmony and purity.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. One more time, if you have your name, so please stay back, okay? Yeah, after our meeting. All right, so thank you. The next one, number 2. Austin, me, and Sarah, please.
Should I read out loud the question?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So our question was, while most Asian Buddhists respect the beliefs of their spouses, many of them or their children were forced to allow their Asian spouses or parents non-Buddhist religions. Would you rather give up your faith to follow your spouse's non-Buddhist tradition due to their requisite, or would you rather keep up your faith and break your relationship with your non-Buddhist spouse? How would you compromise love and religion if your spouse insists on converting you to their religion? So honestly, in my view, it would really depend on the situation. So say for example, like the religions were two completely, like if I was Buddhist and their religions were really differing in values, I would definitely try to like keep my faith and maybe cut off that separation. However, if the religions are similar, you know, maybe we can find like some kind of boundary for respect of each other's religions. And if there were kids involved, it would be a different story. Like more than likely, I wouldn't leave based on religion before the kid's sake. It would just really depend on the situation. Like if the relationship was married, or if the relationship was like just beginning, or if the relationship like we're just married or been married for a couple decades. It
Okay.
just honestly varies.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree with Sarah. Like it really does depend on the situation, but if it was like two people and they were trying to get married, but like one of them had to convert, I feel like you kind of just have to respect the other person's religion. And I think that one person does one thing, the other person does the other thing. But if you have to like convert to get married, I don't know. I don't think that I would personally.
Hello,
everyone.
Okay, so for me, this situation is more common than we think because my brother is a Buddhist himself and he had to convert to his wife's religion because his wife's dad was a pastor and like he had to do so many things in order to just marry her. But me personally, I think the question of like what's your religion is something that I would ask in the beginning of trying to know a person because I know that other religions would want to convert people who are not in their religion, and I kind of don't like that because if I'm a Buddhist myself and I'm not asking you to convert, then why are you asking me to convert and believe what you believe?
Okay, so it's very top, right? It is related to the personal choices, right? And whether you have strong commitment for religion or you may not care much, that may have different outcome when you have your spouse, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to make compromises because most of the time, as Buddhists, we don't need to convert anyone else, but others, they have that kind of demanding. So again, this is your choice. All right, number 3, Victoria and Nia, please.
So for our question, it was describe how Buddhist laity and the monastic community mutually support one another.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was a question. And in regards to the lay community, they provided labor, goods and supplies, and just anything the monastic community need in regards to that.
And then while in return, the monastic community fulfills a wide range of the lay community's spiritual needs. In particular, there are performances of rituals to generate merit for lay people, to increase their success and happiness, and to protect the community from natural disasters.
Again, this is just mutual support, right? That's we discussed last week about tradition. It's about the communities. One is secular communities, and another one is spiritual communities. All right. Mitchell, are you talking with someone else or what? Mitchell.
Yeah, it's me and Andrea.
Okay. She's still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead, please.
So our question was elaborate how Buddhists make offerings of foods, property, money, music, decorations, and performances to the temples and monastic communities in both Theravada and Mahayana traditions. And in Theravada traditions, they have like 8, let me see. So they have the sensory offerings. So all of their offerings like fulfill sensory needs, I guess. So they have water for drinking, water for like washing the feet of the Buddha, flowers that are usually the lotus flowers, incense, light. So they use candles, they have perfumes, food, and sound, which is like how when they perform and do stuff like that. And it's also common in the Theravada tradition to decorate a statue, image, or altar of the Buddha when they do these various offerings.
Okay.
And then I read about these in the Mahayana Buddhist sect. They have these week-long festivals that are about reaching nirvana and enlightenment, and they teach the 6 components of things like giving and the precepts and wisdom. And they have things like offering rice cakes and sweets at family altars, along with paying their respects at the temples where the festivals are held.
So yeah, this is normal, right? For the Mahaya Buddhists, they're not supposed to bring any meat, fish, any animal products to the temple, right? But for the Theravada is one they can offer anything they have. All right, so thank you. Arena, you are only one number 5, right? Arena?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So the question is, describe the relationship between, between monastic and monarchs in both Theravada and Mahayana traditions. So what I could find was the Theravada is, well, it's more common in Southeast Asia, and monarchs are seen as like protectors and preservers. Also, like their senior monks are often regarded like as moral and spiritual authorities. And then in Mahayana, which is more practiced in East Asia, monks have like political influence. And I couldn't find much like of the relationship between the monastic and the monarchs in Mahayana, but that's all I could find.
Yeah, especially in Thailand, they have the type of a strong relationship. In Thailand, even Cambodia, Laos, but other country, that's not too much strong, right? All right, number 6, Dante, Derek, and Leah, please.
Our question was, expound why many men in Theravada tradition generally become Buddhist monks for short and long term before embarking on their future careers. What I read or what I could find in the book was that it says that in Theravada Buddhist communities where membership of the Mosaic community has traditionally been regarded as a necessary condition for the effective practice of meditation for rapid progress along the middle path, it didn't really say why men go in. And I from previous knowledge, I do know that in countries, families often send their sons to the temple or the Buddhist monasteries to study under, to be like a disciple for like a monk. And that really garners a lot of reputation for them as being like, oh, you're kind of like a spiritual person. So once they finish being at the monastery, they can go out into the world and finish up or follow their own careers.
Okay. Leo and Dante?
Well, many men become Buddhists before they pursue any career is also a social expectation. But not only that, like we discussed last week, like meditation and mindfulness can be extremely helpful in the career path, like improving like non-toxic environment as well as a work efficiency. And as we know, Hmong create a good community that help anyone to have a jump start in life. For example, those who unfortunately have a financial disadvantage, they can receive food, shelter, and education, as well as they have a good connection within the community. So, and those connection can later on valuable in their career.
Okay, thank you. Dante?
Her mic is not working, so she might
Oh.
have to type in the chat.
Okay, no problem. All right, thank you. All right, number 7, Kai and Jesse, please.
So our question was discuss how Tran, I don't know how to pronounce the full name, became a Fernet Buddhist, and then he led people to defeat the Mongol invasion, and then later became the founder of the Vietnamese Truc Lamzen sect. So he was the third emperor of sorry.
Probably Kai explain better, right? He know more, right? You heard?
Yeah, maybe, but overall, his significance to, I'll say what I can, and then I'll let him finish. But he was a very successful leader who defended his country against the foreign invasion, and he was also a spiritual leader who made significant contributions to the Vietnamese Buddhism. But
Okay.
I'll let him.
Okay.
You can say the rest.
Sure. Kai, please.
Yeah. My question is to discuss how Trần Nhân Tông, a fervent Buddhist, led Vietnamese people to defeat the Mongol invasion, and then later became the founder of the Vietnamese Trúc Lâm Zen sect. King Trần Nhân Tông, the third emperor of the Trần dynasty, was born in the 13th century in Vietnam. At that time, Trần Nhân Tông was an excellent leader of the Vietnamese people to defeat the Mongol invasion, and then became the founder of the Vietnamese Trúc Lâm Zen sect. In 1284, the enemy troops from the north launched the invasion of Vietnam. Trần Nhân Tông held a conference at Diên Hồng to discuss the strategy to fight against the invaders. After the victory, he ceded his throne to his son, Trần Anh Tông, to become a Buddhist. Then he founded Trúc Lâm, a Vietnamese Zen sect. I will read the following stanza from Trần Nhân Tông poem. Living in the world, enjoy the Dharma accordingly. Eating when hungry, sleeping when fatigued. There is a jewel inside you. Don't seek elsewhere. Facing the world with an empty mind. Don't ask.
Thank you. Yeah, here's his picture. I show you guys here. Okay, so he was famous Buddhist king, and after he led the Vietnamese people to protect country against the Mongolian and Chinese army, so he became Buddhist monk. And so he's famous. Let me share with you this short video clip too. This is so this one here. All right, here. This is 12 monks who were rescued from a Thai cave. So they was encouraged to be Buddhist novice. for a short periods of time. This is a famous story about them. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Number 9, Britain, Jamas, and Tessa, please.
So our question was, suppose that someone or governments violently persecute you, your family, and countrymen religiously. Could you maintain non-violent and compassionate stances towards them, the same as the Dalai Lama would? And my answer would be, I guess that I hope that I would be able to approach a situation with compassion, but I probably would not be able to be as compassionate as the Dalai Lama would be in reality.
Not talking about religious persecution, but if someone try to rob your family members, right? They into your house, right? It's not easy for you to stand still, right? You have to have some self-defense,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I don't think I would be able to be very compassionate.
Right. And I agreed with Tessa. I think if violence or whatever or physical harm would stop the action from happening, then I probably would feel the need to take that, just because I feel like instincts would kick in. But I don't think I would necessarily go out and like seek revenge on these people or anything like that. But again, obviously the Dalai Lama has really cultivated and almost mastered compassion. So obviously I'm not on that level, and I think my instincts would really just kick in.
Okay. Yeah.
Then for me, I think if it were something that were happening directly to me, like me alone, it'd be a little bit easier to not take a violent response to it, because I can, for the most part, accept whatever happens to my own being. But if it were to happen to my family, there'd be no way for me. I can't see myself just sitting down and letting it happen.
Yeah, we discussed this question before. Well, anyway, so most of the time we can do is just have self-defense by ourselves, our family members. Okay, so Alan, number 11, Alan, and sorry, number 10, Alan, Milan, please.
Okay, so our prompt was discuss how Chinese communists persecuted Buddhists during Cultural Revolution. And so I looked up the history of it, and Chinese Buddhism has been like a part of like Chinese culture for thousands of years. But ever since like the introduction of the Chinese Communist Party, they're just like banned from believing in or like practicing any faith. And that's because there was a concern that religion could function as an alternative to communism, and it would undermine the loyalty of the Chinese Communist Party. And during the Chinese Communist Party, they took over a lot of temples, and lots of monastic clergy were forced to participate in manual labor. But during the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976, aggressive eradication was seen. Lots of temples were destroyed, spiritual texts were burned, monks were disrobed, imprisoned, and beaten.
Okay, thank you. Milan, please. Milan still here, Alan? Can I hear you, Alan?
Yeah, I think he's having like Wi-Fi issues. He's in the call, but I don't know where he's at.
All right. Let me share with you this video clip, okay? To see how horrible was the Oops. Are you Milan? Are you ready? Oh, it's okay. Here this is the short video clips about
All ideas contrary to Mao's thinking, the objects that represented them, had to be destroyed. not just Confucianism and Buddhism, but even more so foreign faiths like Christianity. Throughout the country, churches were closed, clergy unfrocked, religious symbols smashed. The statue of the Virgin Mary was replaced by a portrait of Mao. One form of worship gave way to another. It has to become a better world, and of course it didn't. It became a much worse world. The physical destruction wrought by the Red Guards was unparalleled even in China.
Anyway, in 1992, 1993, I went to China and I saw that kind of destruction. But later on, after 1976, they allow the Buddhist temple to rebuild, reconstruction. The Buddhist temple is for tourists only. It's feel horrible if you live in that type of environment. Many of them, especially the head monks of many big temples, they were either executed and spend years and years of hard labors. There's many horrible story. I don't have time to tell you guys, but it's feel horrible. All right, Milan, are you still here? All right, go ahead. Let's move on to number 11. Angel and Anne, please.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Milan. All right, go ahead, Milan. Yeah.
So to add on, I was just gonna say, like, the Cultural Revolution, like, basically they killed a lot of like monks and nuns, and like it was said that like around 93% died in China, in Tibet, and it also resulted into the current geopolitical situation between Tibet and China, and like the very harsh relationship and strained relationship that they have. So it definitely, like, because of Chinese persecution, definitely led to a lot of many Tibetan Buddhists to go and go to other foreign help, go to like the US for rebellion.
Okay, thank you. All right, Angel and Anne, please. Number 11.
Okay, our question says, discuss the reasons Thich Quang Duc, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, immolated himself in 1963. So what we found was that he immolated himself on June 11th of 1963 to protest the persecution of Buddhists by the Catholic minority in southern Vietnam. This had culminated after what would have been the birthday of Siddhartha, the Buddha. They banned the flag of Buddhism, and so there were a lot of protests going on at the time.
Okay, Anne, yeah, please. Can you speak loudly, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. After his immolation, his body was cremated, but his heart remained intact. So then it was considered holy. So it became a heart relic and is regarded as a symbol of compassion.
Yeah, so can you read everything in Vietnamese, or you just read in English?
Me?
This story?
I'm not that literate.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Let me share with you guys. This is the clip right here. Right, how he burned himself to protest the Vietnamese communist regime that oppressed Buddhism in 1963. That is the most famous image around the world during those times. All right, so next one, number 12, Andy and Sydney, please.
So number 12 was discuss the story behind the Buddha statue sits on the back of king in Vietnam. I'm going to talk a little about the king first. His name was King Ly Hai Tong. He was the 10th king to reign over Vietnam, and he reigned from 1675 to 1705 as an emperor. He was the figurehead king under the power of Lord Trần Khanh, who ruled before him. His reign was said to be the prosper period in the revival of the Lê dynasty, which during this time Vietnam was expanding its borders. And this king, he wasn't kind to monks or nuns, And I'll let Andy talk more about why the king chose to have the Buddha sit on his back.
So in 1678, he issued a decree to expel all the monks and the nuns to the forest. And then a Buddhist monk, a Zen master, Tong Den, offered him a box of jewel, which actually contained a document detailing the benefits of Buddhism for the society. So after he read that, he immediately invited the monks back, and he revoked his decree to banning Buddhism. And as a promise, he built a statue of a king underneath the Buddha.
Yeah, here's the image. It's probably is the only one around the world that showed the king repentance to his mistake that he chased away the Buddhist monk and nun from the city to the forest. So that show is the repentance there. Okay, next one. Number 13, Huang, Tony, and Zara, please.
Okay. Number 13 was describe how Buddhist monks preserve their flesh bodies in Vietnam, Thailand, Tibet, and China. So basically, what I've read is that they go through like self-mummification. So first they start by eating very little, and then they spend this time like during their last moments meditating. And on the last day, they enter like a tomb, like underground, and they meditate until they die.
Is that easy? That's easy.
No, that's so hard.
Okay. All right. Huang and Zahara, please.
Yeah, so basically, what he said is basically mummification, which is a historical significance in some Buddhist traditions, especially in Japan. However, it's important to note that this practice is not a widespread and it's not a part of the mainstream Buddhism in Vietnam, Thailand, or in China. Yeah.
Okay. Zara, please.
Yeah, so the monks were mummified while in lotus position, and the bodies were sometimes painted with a mixture of paint, cotton cloth, and sawdust. And before death, yeah, they would go on a special diet, and some would even drink a special like poison tea so that parasites wouldn't decay the body.
You say that some of them drink poison?
It's like a special tea that like I think it's like bark.
Yeah, not the poison to preserve the body, right? But all the monks, like I will show you this one here. Later on, you encounter what they call the sixth patriarch of Zen master, sixth Zen patriarch in China. His body is still intact for 1,000 years already, without using any kind of special chemical, special herb, and so forth. He entered samadhi there, and his body is still there in China. Yeah. So later on, we talk about him in the section of Zen tradition. Okay, so Angela and Anne, you're the last one, please.
Okay, so for our question, we had 14. It says, describe how Chinese communists only allow Buddhist practice within religion centers and home, but not in public. And so basically what I found was the Constitution of the People's Republic of China, it grants freedom for the belief of a religion, but not necessarily the practice. And of those, the only ones that they allow are Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, Catholicism, and Protestantism. And these 5 religions are just, they allow these 5 because it allows the Communist Party to maintain control and monitor if they will become a threat to the People's Republic of China later on.
Yeah, Ian, please.
Yeah, so just to kind of add on to that a little more, in China, they want to be the forefront of religion meaning they don't want anybody else to be spreading around any types of beliefs that might contradict with the ideology they're trying to place. And even though Buddhism isn't big on any type of conversion by any means, they still feel a threat from that. And they have regulation on even monasteries. From what I've heard, from what I've seen, they also have issues in banning certain type of monks and limiting monks in China and in the Tibet area. And they have extreme regulations, not just for Buddhism, but other religions as well. You're not able to share the faith or even really talk much about it, even if your intention is not to convert anyone, right? So it just really limits the expression of faith.
Yeah, so we're so fortunate to live in this free world, right?
Yes.
We have the freedoms religion, we have more all kind of freedom, but not in those country, especially when we talk about the faith, right? They try to control the mass, the public, through religion, and of course they try to control the religion so that they could control the public too. So sometimes we take things for granted, but if you visit those countries, we see how horrible they are over there. All right, so that's all for us today. But one more time, I read most of your analysis paper, and I watched some of your video clips. I mean that the online group presentation. Some you guys did pretty good, but some you guys mainly did less than 30 minutes. So that's below the threshold. That's mean the minimum requirement. You need to do more than that. And also some of you missed the what they call the in-text citation and biography, list of the biography of the references. Okay. And one more thing is, if you guys work well with your partners, you're welcome to do together for final presentation, but each of you need to do at least 30 minutes in total, 1 hour. If you want to do with your partner, if you enjoy your time, or you can ask other people, other friends to work together for final representation, if you want to, so that you can make friends and learn from your friends too. Okay, so anything more you want to talk? So the next one will be the field trip report, right? Field trip report should be the first Sunday of November. That is where you need to submit. And one more time, who would like to volunteer to do the final presentation, in-class final presentation, like last week I asked you guys, who would like to do? I just need 1 or 2 students, 30 minutes. And one of you volunteer? Anyone? Jesse? Anyone want to volunteer? Most of you are good public speaking people, right? This is a chance for you to share. Milan, you want to do? Oh, good. All right. Okay, good. Then I think that's enough. 1 is enough, because we want to save time to talk about what you learned in this class during the last meeting. Okay. All right, good. Thank you, Milan. Okay, so let me